I'm Brad Josephs. We're at Brown Bear Bay, which is a lodge in a remote area of Chinitna Bay near Lake Clark National Park. We're going to do a series of videos about bear safety. And the first one I think we'll do is just tell my opinion of different bear deterrents. And there's mostly two that you would use, pepper spray or flare. I will have to say that in 25 years guiding around the bears out here on the Alaska Peninsula, I've never sprayed a bear in my entire life. I think that says something. I've obviously never used a gun on a bear, never had anybody hurt, and I do use the marine flares, and I've used them about 12 times in 25. So it's really, with the deterrent, it's about you trusting the deterrent enough to know that you can use your body language to deter the bear. You know that if that bear doesn't believe your body language, then you have to use the deterrent. But the fact is, you know it's there and you need it. So you have to have a lot of control and understand the deterrent you're going to use and be really proficient at it. So really what you have to do is understand the pros and the cons, and also, mostly. So the pros to pepper spray is it's, number one, better than a gun. So if you're going to trust something, pepper spray is much more effective than a gun. It's going to kind of blind the bear, disorient the bear. It's going to make that bear really hurt and leave the area. And it's a big cloud. You don't have to know how to aim it or anything like that. So that's definitely a pro. So I'm a pro pepper spray person. But is it my preferred method of deterrent? No, it is not, for a few reasons. And these are reasons that are only specific to where we're operating here, which we call the Bear Coast. So it's this region across up Cook Inlet, on the west side of Cook Inlet, Lake Clark National Park, McNeil River State Game Sanctuary, and then Katmai National Park all the way down the coast. So those areas are places where, for the most part, humans and bears have learned to trust each other and get along. That trust is because when a bear sees a person, it doesn't think, oh, that thing is going to hurt me. When you do have bears that think that, then they can become a lot more dangerous because they want to maybe defend themselves. So what we want to do here is really have this level of trust. An area where bears are not hunted, they're not harassed, they're not overstudied like they are, say, in Yellowstone, different things like that. And we want to be really careful with using the pepper spray, because the pepper spray does really, really hurt. I guess I got to look it up, but I have heard a report where a bear blinded himself after being sprayed because he rubbed so hard because his eyes hurt so bad. I myself have been sprayed before, long story, but at a college football game. It's horrible. And when I was an EMT, I've taken care of people that were sprayed by the police. It's brutal. It's absolutely hell. So be very careful to treat this like a weapon. I think it's banned in Canada still. It's illegal in Australia. I mean, a lot of countries it's illegal. So treat this like a deadly weapon. But that being said, I like it a lot better than people carrying guns for bears. I don't like firearms for bears. There's been a study by Tom Smith and Cody. About guns being, like, if you use a gun as your deterrent, you're actually more likely to get injured. And so that's statistics of lots and lots of bear encounters. Okay, so it hurts a bear. Think about that. In a place like in a camp area, you might need to hurt a bear because they might be getting such bad habits that they need to learn a hard lesson. But you wouldn't want to do it just to your every curious bear that came too close to you. So be very careful with that. So that's the first one. It hurts the bear. That's the con. Number two is wind. It's not good in the wind. I've watched people from a distance spray a bear before in a windy time, and it's almost impossible to hit the bear. So know that. And I don't know if you guys have ever had a can of Lysol in your cabinet that's full. After 2 years, you decide you want to take it out and use it, and you press the button and nothing happens, because sometimes things that are under pressure can get depressurized. So that's why we're going to I think it's very important, if you're going to rely on pepper spray and you're going to use it in that moment of panic or danger or whatever it might be, you need to know it works. And so old pepper spray that's been sitting too long needs to get tested, make sure it still holds the pressure. That's what we're going to do today. And we're going to, the other thing that you need to worry about is, that's why we've come away from the camp, because you would never want to test this pepper spray in your camp area, because although a bear doesn't like to get sprayed in the face, it hurts and blinds them, just like people don't like to get habanero peppers in their eyes, but they might like to eat them. A pepper spray can act somewhat like catnip to a bear. So any place I've ever seen pepper spray deployed, bears will be drawn to it and they roll around in it. And they don't eat it, they don't look at it as a food reward. It's just something that kind of like, wow, and they roll around in it. So you would want to be careful where you spray it, because it could actually, I guess there was a story about somebody said, oh, this is a bear deterrent, so I'll spray my tent and I'll be cool. Well, the bear came along and just rolled in his tent until it was gone. So be very careful with that. But you need to know, you need to be proficient and not be too scared. I mean, have the safety mechanism there. Never have the no safety. If you spray yourself, that'll be the last time you ever want to be around pepper spray. So, you know, pull this thing like this and just kind of know and understand how the trigger works, how sensitive it is, and what it's like to spray it, so that you know what to expect, what it feels like, so you're not trying it out at the time where you're having to spray bear. So, MJ, would you like to? Yes. You said you've carried pepper spray before, but never sprayed it.
Never sprayed it, carried it.
All right. So first of all, since we're all sitting around, we need to think about, like, where's the wind blowing? Because once this gets sprayed, it's going to drift. So, you know, you would want to be upwind of the spray. So I think it's debris blowing that way. Okay. All right. So I think we should be okay if you were to spray that here. Okay. Now just think about your mindset. As far as you're walking through here and all of a sudden there's a bear, and for one reason or the other, you're like, uh-oh, this is not good. You yell at the bear, or you be submissive to the bear, depending on stuff. I think I'll do another video on what do you do when a bear is coming at you, like, what, you know. So that's a whole separate discussion. Right now, we're just going to talk about pepper spray. So think about it like, oh no, pretend there's a bear coming, and you decide you need to spray this to keep yourself safe.
Okay.
So you under panic, you're going to find it, you're going to do this, and then you're going to spray it, and you're going to see what happens.
Okay. Wait, what direction is she spraying it? Because isn't it going to blow back at her with this wind? It's going this way, so shouldn't she spray it that way? So it
just stand here and do it. Maybe,
okay.
I think. And you'll see the spray, and you'll be able to avoid it if you know, before it hits you. But Marie. Okay. Yeah. I do one more time.
Towards the tree?
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Do I do sweep or just one blast?
I think one blast is good for, you know, and you got to, you know, make sure you don't use the whole thing in a gust of wind. If you don't hit the bear, eventually it will run out.
Yeah.
And it's also not cheap. So that's good. Anyway.
Do one more at the tree.
Yeah,
one more at the tree?
Yeah.
Do you want me to hit it like a little bit better?
Let's just start.
Here. Good?
Yeah. That's good. Okay.
Okay.
Oops, bad. It's like pointing a gun at somebody. Okay?
Okay.
So you can practice a little bit, taking that off and putting it back on, because sometimes people are scared of it.
Yeah.
And if you're not scared of it, you should be. And
pull the cap on and off again, just take the safety on and off.
yeah, there you go.
Oh, that's tough.
It's easier to come off. Now, whenever I carry it, like in my pack or something like that, I usually reverse the holster. I put the cover over it, because I've seen it happen before where it gets caught on your jacket when you bend down or something like that, and it can come down. I did see somebody
really...
I watched somebody spray themselves. It was on their jacket,
yeah.
and they reached down to tie their shoe or something, and it popped off, and he got sprayed in the face. And we had to take him back to the boat, and it was not good. So anyway.
Yeah, and it's really, I mean, once the cap is off, it's very sensitive.
Very sensitive, yeah. Okay. So that's good. Thank you. The next one I'll do is about the marine safety flare. So again, I want to say that that's just my opinion from the bears here. It could be different from Yellowstone, or a place where maybe like Yellowstone, you want the bears to be afraid of people. But remember, as we think about managing bears and people getting along, hurting bears creates dangerous bears. So we try to not hurt the bear, but achieve the same results, which is, you know, make the bear go away or stop doing what it's doing. But don't hurt him unless you have to. Okay, thank you. Okay, Jake, you demonstrate what you were talking about.
Okay. Well, the other thing we thought might be worth mentioning is that it's pretty common for people to spray too high. Usually people just extend their arm like this and spray. Mm-hmm. When a bear's coming at you, they're not that tall to begin with, and especially when they're charging, you want to be spraying almost not quite at the ground, but pretty low. Mm-hmm. And you kind of want to go back and forth like this and create a wall that they run through. Because the spray is going to be wafting up like this. So that has definitely happened where people have just held their hand out like this and the spray goes right over their head. So they need to get a good dose of it. Okay. And they need to inhale it. That's really important.
Right.
So
cool. Thank you.
Yeah. And the other thing we think is probably worth thinking about is if you get in a situation where a bear is charging you, your instinct is just going to be deploy that spray. But you really need to wait until they're pretty close. I mean, you could see what we were spraying. It's not going that far. And if it's windy, it's getting diffused really quickly. And so you kind of want to wait till almost the last minute, probably longer than your instinct is going to tell you before you start deploying that spray.
You'd hate to empty it out before the bear got there.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah,
Then
that's a
you're
good
toast.
point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just got to understand the spray. The spray can be your friend, but you got to understand it. And it's a weapon.
And this is also why we like flares.
Yeah.
Brad's
Flare
got me
is
hooked
a-
on flares now.
Yeah,
'Cause it's just,
flares-
other than the forest fire risk,
That's it, pretty
it's
much.
like, yeah.
But
much
we'll
better.
do flare talking another time. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have tested this so much, we need to go ahead and test it all the way out because it's not enough in there to rely on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Pretty empty now.
Yeah.
Really? Yes. Just empty it all the way.
Yeah. On the
Do the
tree. Yeah.
Wow, so that goes out quick.
Yeah, that's why we're saying you need to wait.
Yeah.
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 Okay. I'm sorry.
Okay. Do one more. Just gonna let it roll for a second.
No, it's not. It's not French.
I'm gonna come. Hold on. Okay, pull it off with your thumb. Yeah, I just think it's